Hi. So there is only one last thing that I want to show you before we close definitely this tutorial series. So this is how we can retrieve the user information. So there is different ways to do that. For example, one of the ways that I use and like to do it's in the backend. Usually we create another app that is going to be profiles. The profiles we add new information, so we have to add another model with that information and more if you want. But for this project, it's a simple project that we don't need to create the complexity of the profile. So for this, we are still going to use our outslice, and what we are going to do, it's we come here, we are going to use one of the user URLs. That one, the one that we are going to use is that one, users/me. As you can see, this user, the endpoint is used to retrieve and update the authenticated user. So if you get the endpoint, you can actually come here. I already create a get request. So as you can see, you can do the get patch on here. I create a get request and name it users.me in the URL because it's the default URL for that kind of request. We do it's the same of this, so instead of using this, we use the users/me. And one thing that you have to do, first you have to authenticate it, login, for example. If you come here, we say login, we retrieve that access token, and after retrieving the access tokens, you come here in authorization with the type bearer token, you put here the token and you send and you retrieve the information. So what you want here is just the first name, the last name, and even the email if we need this. So after we have created that, let's create in our service the request for it. So here it's going to be a little bit different, but not as much. We come here, we are going to call get user info. And here, let's say get user info. The request is going to be get request, and here there is some things that we need to do. First of all, it's what the new URL. So we come here and let's say get user info. We also get user, that is not mad. It's not matter too much. And here is going to be users me. Let's see if it's correct. Yeah, it's this. And another difference, we are not going to post anything, so we don't need that user data. We can actually come here and take this out. But something that we need is the access token. So we come here and name here access token, because on the headers we are going to, as we did here in the authorization, so here authorization, and we are going to pass backticks bearer, and we want the access token. Okay, so we are going to retrieve the access token from here. So the response is going to be the same. Let me see if all the names correct, and we just have to pass or get user info to send to route service. Okay, that was the first step. Next step, let's go here and, and we can copy this. Let's name get user info for consistency's sake. Here we don't need anything, but we just let the slash to say that we don't need anything. And with the help of the Tank API, there is a nicely way to get our access token. So we do this access token, Tank API, get state, and from the state you want the user access. Okay, good. So here out service get user info, and we are going to pass the access token or the request. So with this, you want a place to hold that user information in our state. So we come here. There is a lot of ways to do this, but one of the way is say user info, and let's initialize the state with null. So now let's add our add cases, and we want to load that information in the login. So we can, for example, copy this add case, login, pending, fulfill. We can paste here, and here the difference is going to be user info here the user info is going to be action.payload. So instead of the login, we want to get user info. Okay, and now that we have that, we can go to our dashboard, and yes, we come here to dashboard, and here we need to import some things. First, we need to import the useSelector hook, useSelector from React Redux, and for now, I think that one is the only one that's needed. So from here, in the dashboard, we want the user info going to be equal useSelector state, and we're going to retrieve this from the state.out. Okay, so this is here. That's going to be for the future, because now you have to go to our login page. And in our login page, let's also get the user info. So if the login is success, we are also going to dispatch the get user info. So let's see if there is, how it is working here. Okay, there is an error. Dashboard. Yeah. Save, refresh. case cannot be called with reducers at the same time. So if I go here, I think I actually know where we messed up. And it's probably in the names. It is we haven't updated the name here, so let's do that. So if we do refresh now, okay, everything working fine. So let's log in. Okay, so I had some technical problems, but let's keep going. So there was only one difference that I did between that time. I had that URL. It was not in a good expression. I put here instead of here. I corrected it, and in our odd slice, in our odd case, I removed all our user or case for not fulfilled, for loading, better for pending and rejected, because only one that we actually need, it's the fulfilled when we do the login. So after doing this, everything is supposed to work correctly. And what's going to happen here, we also, when we do the login, we also do the dispatch to get the user info, that when the login is going to be fulfilled, we are going to trigger the fulfill case, and we are going to pass the payload of the action in the user info. So we are going to update that user info with that information, because all the process, it's triggering that function and also going to trigger our service or get user info. So let's test this. Let's open our Redux dev tool. Let's refresh this. We get user, and also change null to also change it from null to empty brackets. So we are here, we are empty text, we have user null, user info 0, and this here we have like this. We come here, the login page. Let's copy and log in with our famous Freddy Saturn. Let's log in with the paths 1, 2, 3, 4 until 8. We click login, it's loading, and as you can see, it's also something that I did, but I'm going to explain before what happened. So now we are logged in. So we trigger the sequence of dispatch and actions. So first, with our first dispatch login, we got the user, the access token, and after we make some resets to reset the states into false, and after we called the get user info. So when it was pending, when it got fulfilled, we update that information user info, triggering the dispatch that we had. So as you can see now in our states, we have in user info, we have first name, last name, ID. So we are able to retrieve and put that information in our global state. So with this, the dashboard was really easy. You can to get any information in your state, you just have to use the use selector. So there was only last thing that I did. It was, for example, if you come here, the dashboard says welcome. What I did, I got that property, first name, in horizon info. So horizon info is above. Come here, first name, and as you can see, you can check the welcome thread. So let's do again, login. We use Freddy Saturn. We log in, and we are now, and it's going to navigate to the dashboard, and it's going to say hello and your first name. So yes, I think that video was important. So because the authentication was the hardest one, but after you know how to use Redux, you can access and manage the things that you want to retrieve from the backend, and you can actually create different states. Here, I put the user info in the authentication, but for example, here in the feature, you have like authentication, but you can also have profile, or for example, I'm probably going to use the journal bullet for the development of my application, but you can use a lot of features. And now that you have the authorization, that you know how to retrieve with the service API the data from there, like we did here, yes, now the possibilities for projects are unlimited. Okay, so now we definitely conclude our authentication tutorial series. I hope to like, and if you like the video, let a like, share, and subscribe, and see you to the next time.